Would you call the meeting to order, please? Item 2, Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Item number 3, the adoption of the agenda.
Romano adopts the agenda.
Or Wallace.
Romano and Wallace, please vote.
Motion passes 12-0.
Item number 4, the approval of the minutes.
So moved.
Support.
Romano, Van Sickle, please vote.
Whatever.
Motion passes 12-0.
Item 5, this is a public participation. This is an opportunity, anyone from the audience wish to speak on anything on the agenda, you have 3 minutes. Anyone from the public wish to speak, you can also speak at the end of the meeting on any item. Open for public participation. Anybody from the public wish to speak on any item? Second, 2, we'll close public participation. Item 6, A, 2025-2026 Plan Amendment, the Selected Solid Waste Management Company. Anyone wish to speak on that? John Paul was designated, but
Got a motion?
motion,
Support.
Gorky, and support by Wallace. Go ahead.
Thank you, and good afternoon. Chair Perna, Vice Chair Goyke, and members of this committee. We thank you for your time today. My name is Jake Howlett, and I'm here to speak on behalf of Waste Management, WM, and the Pine Tree Acres team. I'll do my best to be brief and clear about the action in front of you today. The ask today is simple. We recommend that that the Board of Commissioners ultimately approve the proposed amendment to the County Solid Waste Management Plan and authorize it to be submitted to the Macomb County municipalities for local approval. In terms of the process, we are in the midst of the 90-day public comment period. We've actually exceeded the 90 days that are required by statute. There's a public hearing set next week on February 18th, and then the hope is for Board of Commissioners approval on the 19th. After hopefully approval, it goes to each of the municipalities to approve, and the requirement by statute is that we need 67% of the county or the municipalities in the county to approve the amendment. In slide 2, Pine Tree Acres is a Type 2 non-hazardous municipal solid waste landfill. It was first permitted in 1986, began operations in 1987, and is regulated by Eagle. WM works closely with Lennox Township, where the facility is located, to ensure prompt local response and accountability. WM works closely with Eagle to ensure compliance with state and federal requirements, and WM's responsibility is and will be to continue to be a steady and accountable operator and a long-term community partner. They are not a distant vendor. They are here in the county. Slide 3, what the amendment does is straightforward, but the implications are significant. Principally, the amendment allows the limited expansion at the existing Pine Tree Acres facility in Lennox Township, which would site an additional 236.5 acres adjacent to the current existing landfill area, with about 135 of those acres developed as additional disposal area. The practical impact is that it extends the operational life of the landfill from approximately 6 to 8 years to about 25 additional years of capacity. Why does this matter to Macomb County? It comes down to reliability and cost while maintaining county control and service. Pine Tree Acres is the only municipal solid waste landfill located in Macomb County. Without additional capacity, the county loses its local disposal backbone. That doesn't make the waste disappear, it just means Macomb County's waste has to go somewhere, hauled to a distant facility in other counties. This means less county control, being beholden to other counties' materials management plans, requirements of other counties, and the predictable results are higher disposal and transportation costs that show up in municipal budgets and ultimately in the cost to residents, less predictable service and more uncertainty for planning and contracts, more truck traffics on Macomb County roads, and the additional hard truth, if local capacity runs out and there are other issues in terms of landfill capacity, there's going to have to be a look at siting a new landfill, which I don't think anybody wants. This amendment helps Macomb County and its communities avoid that future fight and protects the open space that would be required for a new landfill. Moving to slide 4. This is really a defined planned expansion within the Pine Tree Acres property and borders. All of the property required for the expansion area, which is shown up there in yellow, is on property that WM currently owns. They don't have to acquire any additional property for it. As I mentioned, it would add about 135 acres of permitted disposal area, and that additional space is within that darker black line, which is the sort of original footprint of Pine Tree Acres. So it's not an expansion of what was originally intended, it's adding disposal area to the already planned Pine Tree Acres space. There's a major advantage to expanding versus new landfill because of engineering and construction, things that I'm not as qualified to talk about, but as you build an expansion, you're building into the existing landfill, so you get a lot more capacity and a lot smaller footprint, a lot more bang for your buck is how I always think of it. On slide 5, the proposed amendment is also, it's not just about disposal capacity. Stewardship that WM believes very strongly in means best practices and technology, being an innovator in waste management. And one of those examples is at Pine Tree Acres, they capture landfill gas supporting renewable energy. That currently helps power more than 19,000 homes, and that energy is also used to support major employers, manufacturing facilities. There's a real environmental and economic benefit at the site that already exists. On slide 6, you'll see the amendment also authorizes a recycling transfer station at Pine Tree Acres, supporting more recycling by moving collected recyclables to WM's new Detroit recycling facility. That's designed to process up to 144,000 tons annually and backed up by an approximately $56 million investment that WM made for sorting and glass recovery capabilities. That transfer station will help preserve and enhance the county's recycling needs and growth, and the hope would be that that 25-year additional capacity will be extended even further as processes, recycling, and other technology improves our ability to remove things from the waste stream and put it into the recycling stream. Zooming out, this amendment fits into the county's material management planning process, which I'm sure most of you are aware is another upcoming process that's going to replace the solid waste plan. That's an ongoing process. It's currently being performed by the county. There's a committee. WM is actively involved in that. And this amendment, the MMP process is primarily focused on sustainability, recycling, and all of this fits within that MMP process. But because of the timing, the need to get the permits required for the expansion done quickly, the county, working with WM, has decided that moving forward with an amendment prior to the final MMP process, which is due in 2027, is the appropriate route. So the bottom line is this: the amendment is straightforward, but it prevents major disruption, promotes continued sustainability and economic growth, all while preserving Macomb County's control, fiscal responsibility, and protects its waste management services and goals. Approving it keeps local, reliable, and more cost-stable waste management services, while also expanding the recycling pathway and supporting the county's longer-term sustainability goals. I thank you for your time, and we respectfully request that you move this forward to the Board of Commissioners. And also happy to take any questions if there are.
Commissioner Hall, please.
Thank you, Chair. Is there any feeling of how the residents surrounding the facility feel? I do recall about 10 years ago, they were advocating shutting down the whole facility. Has that changed?
I'm sure there are some residents that take some issue with the landfill in general, but in general, we have a high level of support from Lennox Township. We have the supervisor from Lennox Township here in support of this amendment. And overall, I think with the stewardship of WM, we are seeing a lot less active opposition to the expansion. While we've been monitoring and see some of the Facebook comments, there's been some news stories, but overall, I think there's a general feeling of support for this expansion because it's so critical. It's just one of those things that without the expansion, we lose the capacity, and if you lose the capacity, you've got a significant problem on your hands.
And
Yeah, go ahead, JP.
is Canadian trash still be taken into the facility?
Thanks, JP.
JP said that.
Jumped in there a little quick there, bud.
A little
Yeah,
hot
right.
for him.
maybe that answers the question. Yes, it does. Canadian Waste still moves into the state of Michigan, not just at Pine Tree Acres, but at
Sure.
numerous facilities, and it does land at Pine Tree Acres. That does have some impact on capacity, but not enough to not require this expansion and capacity in general. The Canadian trash issue is really more of a federal question. There's nothing WM or frankly the county or the state even can do to prohibit the waste from coming in. So it's a matter of managing that process, making sure it's got a place to go, but also ensuring that Macomb County has a place to put its waste in addition. And that's part of what this expansion accomplishes.
And lastly, has there been any input from the South Macomb Disposal Authority?
Not that I'm aware of. I know there's been communication and they're aware of it, but we have not had any objection or concerns or questions raised. But they are very much aware of the proposed amendment and the expansion.
Okay, in a prior life, I used to chair that facility, so I will ask. Thank you.
Yep, thank you. Go ahead, JP.
Commissioner Hall, I just wanted to jump in. Also, Commissioners, I apologize for my tardiness. Apparently, Brighton's a little bit farther away than I thought. With regards to your input from the community, public participation and community engagement has been the linchpin of this effort since it started underway in October. Using the Department of Planning and Economic Development, which is the designated planning agency, we've not only created online information forms for residents that have detailed information with regards to the amendment, have a fillable form which has been sent to the department, which myself, Jeff, Vicky, Amanda have been monitoring with regards to citizen inquiries. We've also fielded dozens of calls in which we talked to residents surrounding the facility, had the ability to be a part of a news story with WXYZ about the impact and some of the aspirations of this strategy. And I think most importantly, have not shied away from any conversation. The commitment behind not only what the board's consideration today is we hope along with WM and the Solid Waste Planning Committee to continue this conversation with each of the 27 communities across Macomb County. I just want to be very clear about this process. No singular board, no singular executive, no singular community can make this decision unilaterally. And that is one of the purposeful reasons why we took this process to not only bring in all of the operational enhancements that WM wants to bring to the table, but ensure that the most critical component of our waste ecosystem in WM could be clear, open, and transparent to the public about what this strategy entails and how it'll impact waste, not only through the lifespan of the MMP process, but also with all the modifications and aspirations we have on everything with recycling, composting and organics, and alternative fuel strategies on that side.
Thank you. That's all I have, Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Romano?
JP, would you repeat what you just said? No, stop. Let me, that other gentleman's up front. You know, it's kind of nice to hear, the question was asked, and it was answered truthfully, and it's unusual. I mean, is Canadian Waste still coming in? And the man said, yeah, it is. He didn't dance, didn't do a two-step. I kind of like that. You know, I had the opportunity when I was back on City Council in Sterling Heights, we use waste management, and unfortunately, and I still cry that we don't, but I had the opportunity, believe it or not, to take a ride out there and take a look. There are landfills, and Pine Tree, and in my opinion, and I'm not a waste management coordinator, was probably one of the cleanest and nicest ones that I've seen. I took a tour with Pat Greavy, still around, or Tom Horton, either one of them. Or they're
Tom's
gone.
retired, yeah.
They've gone to the great beyond. They're
Both
both
retired,
retired,
yeah.
right? I'm still around here putzing around.
All gone.
Anyway.
We wish they were.
You wish they were, anyway. That's my 2 cents. I've seen what waste management or Pine Tree is, and I physically have seen it. And as I said, it looked, I haven't seen other facilities, but from when I could see it, Pine Tree, it looked pretty decent to me. That's all I had. Thank you,
Thank you,
Commissioner.
Commissioner Howard?
Hey, thank you for being here. I just have a couple questions. Maybe you can help educate me on a couple things. I did hear from one resident, and he spoke very highly of the project. But you know, that's just anecdotal evidence. It was just one person. You kind of touched on it a little bit. If this fails and, you know, we don't go this direction, what is the outcome? What happens next?
Ultimately, what would happen in this 6 to 8 year period is the landfill would reach capacity, it could no longer accept waste, and then it transitions into sort of a legally and state mandated closure process. And that process takes a long time. You have to manage it, maintain it, protect the environment, but it will no longer be operating to accept any further waste. So it will still be there, it will be managed and protected, but it'll no longer be a location that active municipal waste could be brought to.
and then our waste would just get hauled to somewhere else.
It has to go somewhere, right? Jim, did
That's
you
what I
want
was-
to?
no,
Yeah.
that's what I was gonna say, yeah. The county would probably have to construct what we call as a transfer station, a massive transfer station, and you would be running thousands of tons through there a day and then taking it to a different facility in another county. That's ultimately what would end up happening.
Yeah, Commissioner, the best way I can put this is every time someone touches your trash, it costs someone money. Right now, 80% of our trash is handled by WM at Pine Tree Acres. Should that happen, the alternatives that the county would have to review with not only the Materials Management Planning Committee and Eagle is, it would go predominantly outside of our borders. That would also have a negative impact on the existing waste hauling contracts that our locals have and alter price drastically. While a lot of that is, us kind of speculating what that would be, but cost increases would be a major factor in that conversation.
Gotcha. Thank you so much for that. And I'm not sure if this applies to, our situation here in Macomb, but I know there was a lot of news stories and some concerns around recycling and then that being essentially shipped to other countries and stuff like that. Are we doing that here, or how do we, like, when we recycle here at our plants, like what's the end result of that recycling?
So the recycling, it depends on what the product is, if it's plastic or if it's wood. We try to keep everything locally. And with our new $56 million recycling facility, a lot of it is going to stay within Michigan. However, some does leave the state and does leave the country. It just depends on the commodity.
Okay.
But we try to keep it here locally.
No, I appreciate
That's
that
our
because there's a huge news stories really spent over the last several decades of us sending our recycling to other countries, and then you're watching, frankly, 5-6-year-old kids pick through our trash for their survival, and it's just inhumane in my opinion.
No,
But
we
thank
watch
you
it
that
cradle to grave.
Yeah,
Yep.
thank you. And then last question, it was it's kind of cool seeing like this first plan was put in 1999. I was maybe 6, turning 7 at the time. So just, wanted to point that out for some of our folks. Her husband was on this paper. So what's going to happen in 25 years? The life cycle is going to be 25 years. I'm concerned about, my daughter's going to be, or my youngest daughter's going to be 25. Like, what's going to happen 25 years from now? Do we have a plan that is foreseeing that?
Yeah, so we have a whole division at WM that just looks at alternative technologies. There's a lot of them out there, and we're investing a lot of money in those technologies. So the hope is that just like we built the recycling facility, we continue to extract more of the waste out of the waste stream and repurpose it and reuse it. So the goal would be you have the 25 years plus the 6, so you have 31 total from today. The goal would hopefully make that go to 50 to 60 years as we continue to extract those items, I'll call it, out of the waste.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, Sherry.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Kraft.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Commissioner Howard did steal my question on the timeline issue, but as the commissioner that has this facility in his district, I know Commissioner Ha mentioned, 10 years or so, there was the outrage and shutting it down and all that stuff. But since then, WM and the folks at that facility have made such a concerted effort, not in terms of just operational enhancements, but community communication as well, community outreach. I mean, just in my time here from when I started, which was 9 years ago, until now, even my conversations with the folks over there at the landfill have increased significantly. And we didn't even have much of a conversation about this issue. It's just been everything leading up to this. And JP and I have talked about this extensively. So I already know how you guys were feeling about it, obviously, but it makes perfect sense, right? It's on your footprint already practically as it is. And my residents are complaining about higher rates for water when it comes to administration fees and things like that. Well, if we don't do this, guess what's going to happen? Your rates are going to increase on your trash bill. All of us, everybody in this county is going to see that increase. So if we don't go through with this, that's what is going to happen. And we are going to hear that grief. And I can tell you as the commissioner with this in my district, I've heard from one person that was opposed to this. When big issues like this pop up, I will hear about it. This has popped up and I have not heard the groundswell. I've seen the social media posts. I've seen the news reports. I've talked to my local elected officials, and I will be supporting this. I will be voting yes on this. I want to thank you and your team for everything you guys are doing there. And I look forward to, a 75-year lifespan would be great if the technology is there, right? So thank you guys, and thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate the comments.
Commissioner Sabatini.
Thank you, Chair. Afternoon, guys. Good seeing you again.
Yeah, good to see you.
Just to kind of follow up with Commissioner Kraft's comments, years ago when we actually did have the opportunity to open up the solid waste plant, it was a different scenario here for the county where this board actually had to make that decision. And I was one of the commissioners at that time that didn't like that feeling, making a decision for all the local municipalities. So when this idea was brought up to me, I thought it was a good idea that we're including our locals so that they have the opportunity to hold those public meetings and hear from their constituents and their residents to discuss it more. So I'm also in support of it. I have not heard any negative comments. Obviously, I've heard more positive comments than I've heard negative comments in this context. Obviously, it's a big issue. A lot of people are concerned about it. But I think when you talk to our locals, I've been only hearing good things. So, and kudos to the executive, JP and team, as well as WM. They've kept us up to date on this, including Commissioner Goyke, who sits on this committee and has a lot of experience in this.
Oh, I'm full of crap.
But he's been keeping us updated as well. So just thank you to everybody. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Seeing no other speakers,
I hope not.
please vote.
Thank you. Appreciate the comments.
Thank you.
Motion passes 12-0.
Item 6B, this is a resolution 2026-14464, resolution approving a brownfield plan at 31327 Gratiot Avenue in Roseville, Michigan, for the County of Macomb pursuant to an ordinance with the provision of Act 381 of the Public Act of the State of Michigan of 1996 as amended. Vicki, bring us up to date.
I'll make the motion to refer it to full board.
Support.
Jeez.
Carol Hall and Van Sickle. Vicki?
Good afternoon, Commissioners. So what you have in front of you is a resolution to approve a brownfield development plan in the city of Roseville. With me today, we've got Jim Gamici, who is the economic developer over in Roseville, as well as Luke Bonner, who's the consultant that's working on this particular project. So if I can invite Luke up to talk about the specifics of the project in Roseville. We're going to have you, George. We'll have George speak on that.
Hi, Commissioners. My name is Jordan Chapman. I'm with Roseville Retail Management, or AMM Roseville LLC. Before you, we are under contract to purchase the piece of property located at 31327 Gratiot Ave. It's currently the Days Inn Hotel. Our current plans are to demolish the hotel as it stands today and subdivide the parcel into three for three freestanding buildings, one of which would be a car wash. The next northern middle parcel would be a restaurant with drive-through, and then the parcel to the furthest north would be another restaurant with a drive-through. This parcel is situated on the northwest side of 13 Mile in Gratiot, just north of the LA Fitness and just south of the Marathon gas station. Currently, we are through the engineering review with the city of Roseville. The plans have been approved, and we are currently on our second resubmission to the county drain commissioner and MDOT for stormwater. Once these approvals are received, and if this brownfield is supported, we would plan to commence demolition activities starting in early March and be delivered to our tenants by August 1st. The tenants would then have, several months to fit out their buildings and, open up their operations. Most of them are targeting a Q1, Q2 of 27 opening. I'm here to answer any additional questions you may have on the specific brownfield, but wanted to give you, some overall insight on the project as a whole.
Yes, I'm the king of Roseville, Commissioner Harold Hall.
Thanks, Chair. Two quick questions. I just read, I believe it was Monday, a suit that took place, I believe it was Shelby or Sterling Heights, where one gas station was already constructed and they built another one within a half a mile. And they're suing the city for granting the permit for the second one because it definitely impacts the bid. Are you aware of any of this? Knowing we got one on 14 in Gratiot?
Yeah, you're referring to a car wash at 14 in Gratiot, that is, or?
I'm referring to a similar situation possibly occurring.
Yeah, I'm unfamiliar with the situation with the gas stations and the lawsuit.
Okay, read yesterday's Macomb Daily. I'll give our buddy a plug. Secondly, you said you were with Roseville, what?
I'm with AMN Roseville LLC. That's the entity, the ownership entity that will be taking ownership of the Days Inn, and we would be the developer on the project.
Okay. So you don't work for the city of Roseville?
I do not work for the city of Roseville.
Right.
I'm with
Okay.
the developer.
I was going to say I've never seen you, but that's okay. That's all I have, Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any other speakers, please? If not, please vote.
Wait,
There's
you got
3.
a bunch of them on there.
Joe. Both Joes. Joe squared.
Where?
Romano.
Well, your name doesn't show up, sir.
Looking at my name, I'm looking at a couple other names. Can you see that, Mr. Perna? Was you,
Commissioner Romano?
am I allowed?
Yes.
Thank you. Hi, George. How are you?
Good, how are you doing?
Good. Why is this going brownfield? Why don't you just tear it down, just make it why does it have to go brownfield?
Yeah, I can bring Luke up here for some of those questions,
That's what I
but
wanted you to ask. You know, Luke, you didn't think you were going to get away without talking, did you?
you wanted me to come up here.
Incidentally, for what it's worth, Luke Bonner has done a lot of brownfield in the city of Sterling Heights and quite successfully, and going from the ground floor. And I guess the bottom line is, and believe it or not, he knows what he's doing in great depth. So if I may, Mr. Bonner, go ahead. Why is it going brownfield and not just a regular demolition? And
I mean, that was a really good intro. I just want to sit down now, not have to say anything. I don't want to screw anything up. Thank you. Well, this site qualifies as a brownfield based on the functional obsolescence of the existing structure on site, and given the excessive cost of demolition, which is roughly around $700,000, we were seeking tax increment financing as a reimbursement mechanism to help cover that cost. Under the state statute, in order to qualify a site as functionally obsolete, you have to have a level 4 master assessor give that affidavit of obsolescence. And the assessor that we use for this project is Matt Schmidt from Shelby Township, who has done a number of these projects throughout Southeast Michigan. So he's very trusted in his opinion as well. And we wanted to make sure we had someone highly qualified to look and review this site as well to make sure it qualified for brownfield assistance.
thank you. That's all I have, Commissioner.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Sabatini?
Thank you, Chair. So just a couple quick questions in regards to the tax implications. So the Brownsfield is specific to the demolition implications relative to the tax. Is that correct, Luke?
So the way that tax increment financing works, there is, once the new construction takes place and the new value of the project is assessed by the city, there is an increase in overall value from what was there before. So the property taxes paid on that increase is actually captured by the Brownfield Redevelopment Authority and can be used to reimburse the developer for those eligible activities. So under the act, the eligible activities that we're seeking reimbursement for are demolition. We have some environmental work and some consulting work in terms of preparation of the Brownfield plan. Total cost on the Brownfield plan is around $900,000. About $100,000 of that is contingency. So there isn't an increase, that there's not a tax increase or a millage increase on the site. It's all based on new property taxes that are generated by the new development.
Okay. Is there and when does that begin?
So that begins with their start of construction this year and potential completion before the end of 2026. That we would see the increase in property taxes take in effect basically the July tax bill of 2027. That would be the first increase or the first reimbursement available to the developer.
Okay. I assume you're representing the developer.
I am. I apologize for not making that clear. I am the consultant to the developer on this project.
So I guess this is a question for the developer. do you currently own the property, or are you just in contract and this is part of your due diligence period?
We're under contract and this is part of our due diligence period.
Okay, so let's just assume this moves through and you decide to walk away from this deal. What happens with this property in the context of it being assessed the Brownfield exemption?
I can cover that, Chairman. So if the Brownfield plan were approved and the deal doesn't move forward, you still have an approved Brownfield plan. So between the city and the county, you could hold that Brownfield plan in place for the next potential developer that comes through as a potential incentive. You would have to make some changes to the plan specifically for that next project. Or you could decide, hey, look, let's rescind this plan that we just approved. We'll wait and see what the next development is, and then we can entertain something thereafter. But everything that I understand, they are set to close within the next 30 days and are eager to get started.
Okay, and that would, if that was to happen, this is just for, we're getting more brownfields, so we're hearing more of these. So I'm just trying to get more of an understanding of the complete picture of how they work. If that was to restart, that would have to go back to the city or the municipality and then come back to the county?
Correct. That's correct.
Okay, great, thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Hall?
I don't recall Vicky or either of you two mentioning the city council has already passed and agreed on this resolution.
That's correct. The city of Roseville passed the resolution to support this Brownfield plan unanimously in November. Is that right?
Yeah,
November.
that's what I was saying. They've
Yes.
already done it.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any other questions, commissioners? If not, please vote.
Motion passes 12-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Good. Item 6, C, D, and E together, please. Director Santo?
How about motion for this to go through?
Was that our?
Wiki and Wallace?
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Item 6C, seeking a approval or agreement for professional services with Mannik Smith Group to perform pavement cores at various locations throughout the county at various roadways. This is used for preliminary engineering to determine cross-sections of pavement so we can design the fix appropriately to know what cross-section of concrete, if it's overlaid in asphalt, the fix of overlay asphalt, to know what process we can move forward with the best fix for those roadways. So this is necessary for our preliminary engineering for our projects moving forward. Item 6D is a contract seeking approval for TC Tree Service LLC. This tree removal service project was bid out. There were two bidders. TC Tree Service was the low bidder in the amount of $86,782. This is in preliminary, in advance of our projects that require tree removals. We have to worry about endangered species, one being the bat, which is housed in trees, and we have to remove trees during their dormant season. So we're trying to hit that season so we can remove those trees in advance of our construction projects in those locations. Item 6E is seeking approval of a cost share agreement with Macomb Township, Shelby Township, and Washington Township for the improvement of 26 Mile Road and Hayes intersection, which is a T intersection. I'm sure you're all aware of that intersection and travel through it frequently. We are moving forward with this project with $750,000 in federal funding. Overall project cost is $1,252,000. County cost, Department of Roads would be $252,005. So basically it's 80% federal funding for the construction of this intersection, which is much needed and well deserved. So seeking approval on those three items and entertain any questions.
Commissioner Goike?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Mr. Santo. I got two questions. Number one is, I'm doing the testing. That's it's very intelligent to know what you got for your engineers to work on that. But that much money, approximately how many miles of testing will that take care of in the county? Will that do the whole program, that amount of money for the year? And let's say it's going to cover maybe 26 miles of repaving or 10 miles repaving?
That's only a portion of our needs. We kind of broke it off into needs for the first portion of the year as far as our design purposes. I know that covers, I believe that amount covers 13 roads and about 70 cores. And as you can appreciate, with being in traffic, it not only covers the resources as far as manpower, equipment, but it also deals with traffic control. So that's a big portion of the cost. It is a higher cost, but they are working in traffic actively. And it is something that we use and is very critical to our moving forward with the appropriate design. We don't want to design a pavement to mill off 2 inches of asphalt that's overlaying a concrete section if we only have 2.5 inches of asphalt. We're not going to leave a half inch of asphalt, so we're going to make sure that we design it appropriately to what the cross-section existing is. So,
But I'm very much on board. I just wanted to know what the cost structure was of it. So 70 of them, because you have to have road, flaggers and everything depending on, so it's, I understand all that's about $2,000 a shot. So that, it makes perfect sense. The other one is, we're missing one township. They didn't have the money for that program there at the Four Corners, Ray Township.
that is correct.
Everybody, all the other 3 townships are all right with Ray not putting in their share?
That is correct. They contributed to make up that portion of the 4th community.
Okay, well, the population of Ray Township's 3,500, so, and then you got Shelby and Macomb both at 90 to 80,000, and Washington around 45,000, so, and then you got Little Weedwood. Ray Township with 3,500, just so the board knows they don't have the money. So, thank you, Mr. Santo.
You're welcome. Thank you, Commissioner.
Any other questions? If not, please vote.
There's 3.
Detail button.
No show.
It doesn't show.
Commissioner Kraft.
I'm here.
Mine either.
Commissioner Kraft is next.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Brian.
Good afternoon.
Staying on the cores testing, how often do we do that? Have we done this before? Is this like every 3-year, 4-year program? What's the history of this?
We do it consistently. We put out an RFP for as-needed services, and this is a portion of the as-needed services. We do have a core machine ourselves. However, with the traffic volumes, we use that on low volume, more local roads or subdivision roads, not on mainstream primary or state roads. Obviously, we don't repair state roads, but we maintain them. So this is a functionality thing as far as not having the resources and not wanting to put our staff out in the public on high volume roads. So yes, there is a significant cost, but it is planned and programmed into these projects. So once we get a project, we apply these costs to that project job number, and eventually we will charge that out whatever share. If we get federal funding or if it's a local match, we will charge that additional cost out to the communities because it's a resource we're using to design and build that project.
Okay. To follow up on that, so in my community, we have a few stretches of road that I've basically called them speed bump roads now at this point. You can see it on 94, which is not our responsibility, but county line, other roads like that. Would something like this be able to get to the core reason as to why that's happening? Or is that something totally separate?
That would be totally separate.
Okay.
This is strictly used for design purposes. So if we know that we have upcoming future road construction or rehab projects on stretches of road, we do this in advance of that.
Got it.
So not as a what's going on, it's what do we have in the field that we can work with to build upon.
Got it. Thank you, Brian. Thank you,
You're
Mr. Chair.
welcome. Thanks, Commissioner.
Please raise your hand if you want to speak.
Thank you, Chair. It's always fun having tech difficulties, isn't it? Brian, hey, just want to say thank you for the cost share for Macomb, Washington, and Shelby. I know this has been on the list for a while. It's just been a long process, so thank you for getting it to the finish line. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Commissioner Howard.
Afternoon, Commissioner. Good, thank you.
Just have this, typically on our full board meetings, you include like an update on road projects, and you have a million projects going on all the time. Can you include an update on DeQuinder, and I know you sent us an email about that, I saw your response to, but DeQuinder and Mountain Road, just so we can have something tangible that we can give to the residents and they can see it on there?
Yes, as far as DeQuinder is concerned, we are seeking grant submittal to the Build Grant to seek funding for that stretch. I think it's a 3.5-mile stretch going south of 696 up to 14 Mile Road. So that is our stretch of road that we maintain. It's a border road, but we do have City of Hazel Park and Madison Heights adjacent on the Oakland County side. But we are responsible for maintaining and repairing that stretch of DeQuinder. So we are actively seeking alternative funding. That will be a heavier lift and can't be supported just alone by ourselves in the community. As far as the south portion of Mound, we have continued to support that with application submittals to the infra grant funding program through the federal government. We will be submitting it again. We've gotten positive responses both times we've submitted it so far. Sometimes it depends on the administration and the reviewer you get, but we've been very successful with feedback and the debriefs that it's a good application, it's a good submittal. Some of the hurdles, even though we've got a successful program and project that we've already built on time and on budget, sometimes it's a challenge knowing that we've already got $100 million of funding for that stretch. But we do have a very viable project in their minds and gotten positive feedback, so we'll continue to seek additional funding for that between 8 Mile and 11 Mile.
Thank you. I really do appreciate that. I get calls on one of those roads every single
We
week.
want to finish the job we started up
Yeah,
there.
and I know you're doing a great job, and thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Well, go ahead.
I believe we have no other speakers.
No more speakers.
Thanks, Brian.
Please vote.
What about that?
You did good.
Motion passes 12-0.
Thank you, Commissioners. Take care.
And now we move to 6F. This is for discussion only, Office of the County Exec and Department of Roads, Dead Animal Removal Services.
Great topic.
Andrew?
Continuing on the theme and Commissioner Perna's meeting here of things brought to you by a deputy county executive that stink. We're going to talk about dead animals now, not trash.
Sorry, can, motion to receive and file.
Support.
Wallace
Thank
and
you.
Howard. Yes.
Thank you, Commissioners. So I wanted to take a quick moment today. We had a period of time last spring, maybe late last winter, where we had started to talk about how we handle roadkill within the county. Roadkill is the only good term that I can use for it, but there are a lot of folks who have a lot of emotional connection to any animal in this county, whether it be alive or dead. And it does impact the way that people feel as they drive down the road and pass formerly alive animals, especially if they're in front of a church or a school or something else. What also happens at times is they become impediments to traffic while they're in the roadway. So people do have to move around them. They become a traffic issue. It's handled all different ways throughout the state. And so we wanted to take a look and see what we could do as a county and if we should be, as a county, taking care of this issue. I think it became pretty clear pretty quickly that the individuals, our citizens within this county, expect us to do something about this. And we wanted to do it the most efficient way possible. You've likely seen the documentation that I've submitted on our pilot project that we took to kind of gauge the need as a county, but what you haven't seen is something that we have been working on since we started that pilot program with our IT department, myself, Tom Lair, and others, to try to train our team on what you do when you receive a call with a deceased animal. And I'd like Luke to play that if he's back there. I heard that I just point, look at that, I point and this happens.
This video will provide a walkthrough of how to enter a ticket requesting the pickup and disposal of a dead animal within Macomb County. When you receive a call regarding a dead animal that needs to be picked up, you will open the web form and enter the relevant information. First, we will enter the caller's name and their phone number. You will ask the caller if it is okay for the collector to contact them if more information or clarification is needed. The next section deals with the type of animal being reported and its location. There is a drop-down box featuring several selections such as dog, cat, deer, skunk, etc. If the animal that the caller is reporting is not listed in the drop-down box, there is also a selection for Other, and if it is selected, a text box will open for you to enter the specific type of animal. Before we look at the map, it is important that you understand the concept of jurisdiction in scheduling and requesting the pickup of an animal. Within our map, we will see 4 types of road jurisdiction. First, there are Macomb County roads. These are roads that lie within the borders of Macomb County and over which Macomb has jurisdiction for disposing of animals. Second, there are state roads such as M59, which the Michigan Department of Transportation has jurisdiction over. Next, there are local roads which fall under the jurisdiction of a specific city, village, or township, such as Sterling Heights or Macomb Township. Finally, there are private roads which are maintained by private entities, such as homeowners associations or private businesses. Now, let's spend a bit of time learning about this interactive map. You can use Control plus Scroll to zoom in and out of the map and click on the location. However, it may be easier to enter the address or cross streets of the animal's location. For example, if we enter 14924 Hall Road, we will see Hall Road highlighted. However, if we look below, we will see that although it shows we're in Sterling Heights and we still haven't really selected the road, because our pointer is sitting on the building that has the street address 14924 Hall Road. If we double-click on Hall Road in front of the building, we will see that the jurisdiction for Hall Road is MDOT. If we were to select Pine Drive, it would show us that this is a private road, and as such, the caller should be informed that the road is private and they would need to contact the homeowners association or business responsible for the road for assistance. Similarly, if we select Windwood Drive, it will show us that this is a Sterling Heights road. When the program indicates that Macomb County does not have jurisdiction, a phone number will be displayed for the entity that has jurisdiction. In these instances, you will direct the caller to contact the jurisdiction at the number listed. Using our earlier example of Windwood Drive, you would direct them to call 586-446-2440 to connect with the Sterling Heights Department of Public Works. At that point, you may close the form, as no ticket will be needed. As another example, you can enter 26 Mile Road and County Line Road, and it will move the map to that location. You will notice in this demonstration that, at that intersection, 3 of the roads are blue, indicating they are Macomb County roads, while the 4th, 26 mile east of County Line, is yellow because it is not a
Luke, I
Macomb
think that's
County
enough.
road. When you have selected a Macomb County road,
Thank you, Luke, very much. You get the idea of what we're doing to train our staff. And I also thought that that was a helpful demonstration because it talks about the different jurisdictions for the different roadways and who is responsible for those ultimately. So in this period of time that we've been taking a look at the need, we have experienced 180 animals that we have picked up, 39 that we have not been able to find, 1 emergency removal that was needed because it was impeding traffic and our roads department wasn't able to get there. We believe that 100, so you also have to think about the large animal need versus the small animal need. What we want to do as far as, do we want to be removing small animals? Or do we just want to stick with deer and other large animals? My personal preference, because that's what most municipalities do, is likely just go with the large animals at this time. We will get some pushback from our citizens that they would like the smaller animals removed as well, but it's just, unless it's going to be an impediment in our road, I just think it's not a positive use of our funds. Also, when you get to smaller animals, I think it's a little bit harder to determine how small is too small. I mean, obviously a mouse is too small, right? But is a squirrel too small? Is a goose too small? We get into those types of conversations, and I don't think that that's necessary for us to be doing. Also, it talked about dog and cat on the presentation here. Just for our information, that domesticated animals, dogs and cats within the county, are handled by our animal control department because those are domesticated animals and not wild animals. With this, and I had a very brief conversation with Commissioner Sabatini earlier, that's when we changed this to an informational presentation and not a request for a dollar amount. We are planning to go out to bid for this service to see who has interest and to see what those costs will be moving forward, or what they believe they can provide in a competitive bid. And we'll be doing that in the next month or two to bring that back to this board for consideration of a budget amendment to fund that going forward. With that, I'll take any questions that anybody has. I hear from Commissioner Perna, there's no questions. Thank you for your time.
Yeah.
I do have a question.
Yes.
So those seniors that are not savvy on computers, is there a phone they can talk to a live person, say, hey, I'm not sure where it is, what do I do, if they're not savvy on the computer?
Thank you, Commissioner Perna. That's an excellent question. This actually is for our internal staff. We expect to be getting phone calls at your office, at our office, at Public Works, at the Sheriff's Office, at the Road Department, and at our Animal Control Office. Then this is really for those people who are answering the phone calls to take that phone call and how to respond to them appropriately with the appropriate information. So yes, we anticipate that these will come in through the phone. We are not opening up a website for somebody to just go in there and log that information.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Well, I don't see it here, but.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair. So I guess my question is, wasn't it like 2 years ago we did purchase a new vehicle to be removing deer?
Yes, thank you, Commissioner. So in 2023, we purchased a used vehicle, a 2019 Ford F-250, and outfitted it with a lift gate. That vehicle has now been transferred over to the Department of Roads. It sits within the Department of Roads for them to utilize when they have one of these instances where there's a road impediment. So we'll continue to use that vehicle. It is a few years older now, but yes, we had in the past.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Hall.
Thank you, Chair. So, Andrew, so the call comes in, what department goes and picks the, let's say, deer up?
Thank you, Commissioner. That's a great question. We are anticipating that that will be a contractor moving forward.
Okay.
It will not be a department, it will be a contractor. And we will be using that training that you see. So what will happen is once they fill out that online form, our people fill out that online form, it will send an automatically generated PIN or prompt to whomever is our contractor to go pick up that animal.
Now, I thought I heard the number 189 incidents last year of picking up deer. Was that an accurate number?
So it's 180 plus 39 that were not found. And
Okay.
so I think other people may have removed them by that time. I'm not going to go deep into that
Yeah.
idea. But it would have been 209 incidents of going out to pick up animals. And that would have been from early-ish August until the end of December this year.
Who's that guy screaming back
I
there?
don't know.
We don't know who
I
it
don't
is.
know.
Now,
JP again?
is there a system in place if the sheriffs are driving or one of the DPW guys are out there or road guys and they see a deer, they can do what?
They could call so DPW, sheriff, they can call their office and then their office can fill out this form and it'll kick it out to our contractor when we identify the contractor.
The one thing with I love the whole system and concept. The one thing that I can see that's gonna blow up is the first time, not that we have a lot of deers in Roseville, the first time somebody calls and they use the system and tell them, nope, we don't do that for Roseville, you have to call the local guys. That's gonna blow up. We went through this with the dog catcher situation where we literally were paying for the services. I would like to see this offered throughout Macomb County. It's a city road or a state road or a county road. It's still a dead deer in a road. And I think that's an enhanced service that should be offered to all of our residents. I don't know what that would cost. I don't even know if it's practical. But I can tell you right now, the first time somebody from Roseville calls and they're told to call the DPW is gonna say, we don't have the resources or the equipment to pick it up. Not that we have a lot, but there have been instances of late. So this is just my opinion. This should be a service that the county offers to all the local, I don't care what road it is.
I appreciate that, Commissioner. We have been, as I say, we've been running this pilot project and working well with our local partners so far, but I don't disagree with you that there's going to be confusion and at times some pushback on the city roads, especially when you think city versus township and the different ownership structures within that. So thank you for that feedback.
Either that or we can bring Veronica back here and she could talk about the dog catcher situation in East Point. How's that?
You don't want
I'm
that.
not touching that one.
Yeah. I don't want
I'm
that.
happy to talk about that.
So, thank you. That's all I have, Chair. I want to consider that, please.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Commissioner Goike, I know you're talking about cows and bears, but go ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much. I just want to, everybody in Macomb County is a taxpayer, because all of the property gets county taxes, so that's why I just was going to agree with our sub-chair there, that it's, I think the same thing, that it should be countywide. My other question was to the fact that, have we looked at right now, if we're using the road commission, to do that, they have pickups, they have a lot of guys, they have, other equipment and stuff, maybe give them that pickup that we already bought for doing it. But let that department put a cost analyst together and see what, it costs Brian to send somebody out, to do that. Because, I mean, I seen numbers kicked around, it's like subcontractors, $100,000, it's like, and you only did 200, I mean, simple math says that's $500 an animal. It's like, all right, I'll quit this job and.
I was thinking the same thing.
That's a pretty good gig, so that's, I would like to throw it, see if we can get another committee to, put a bid in on doing it.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Commissioner, and to your point, it is not $500 an animal. That was a shortened period, and the numbers that we're throwing around for what this could cost for an annual number is much different. So it's a annual cost versus a quarterly cost, that's all.
Okay, well, quarterly, so change that number, it's still pretty lucrative.
This is a job that very few people truly want to do. I don't know that I think Brian got out of here quickly. Oh, there he is. The individual,
won't like me now.
the individuals who, I can
Guys
tell
don't
you
wanna pick that up.
from some work with our road, and now I'm gonna flake on their names, but the road workers that we have, right? They hire in to do roads. They don't hire in to walk around and collect dead animals necessarily. They want to be doing a particular job that they applied for, and
Yeah, but
sometimes we get pushed
they're
back
still
on that.
picking up accident scene bumpers and, tires that fly off down the road and.
For sure.
They got a whole section of garbage to throw in there all the time at all the barns. And then I think that's something else at another time to be discussing is we have to go after the insurance companies for a lot of this cleanup on them sites. That's what, that's something where we're really missing out on, for money for our departments on.
I will defer all of that to Corp Council and Roads and get back to you on all of that. Thank you very much, Commissioner.
Commissioner Lucido, please.
Thank you. So the Department of Roads used to do this service, and then this started becoming too much, so we ended up contracting. Is that correct?
So it's a little more nuanced than that. The Department of Roads removes impediments to the roadway. So whether that be a tree or a deer, they're going to remove it if it's within the right of way. If there's a dead deer and it's on a, near a shoulder on a church property possibly, on Groesbeck, the Department of Roads may not go and get it if it's not within the right of way, not within the roadway. So then it became a hot potato between us and our local partners, who's going to take care of that. That's why we got to the point of county road, county will be taking care of it. City road, city would take care of that. Private road, the association would take care of that. That's really, that's the issue or the problem that we're trying to solve, Commissioner. You're articulating it perfectly. It's these animals that were not within the right of way. Who's going to take care of that? And then everybody's doing one of these.
Okay. So in other municipalities, in other counties, do they contract? Because I always thought the Department of Roads always cleaned them up, like in other counties.
Yes. Other counties, the state of Michigan, they do contracts with individuals to remove these animals. I'm certain that other counties take care of them themselves. I don't know what each individual county does. My understanding with Oakland County, who has a road commission, that department, so slightly different structure, they use a contractor to pick up their roadkill. That's my understanding.
Okay. Yeah, because I guess my question would be is that if this was something that usually would fall under the Department of Roads, why are we taking the funds out of general fund instead of the Department of Roads budget?
Yes. So that's something that we have bandied about here and there. We'd like to do this for the upcoming year. And then as we get more road funding, we'd like to consider that in the road budget in the future for certain.
All right, thank you.
Commissioner Sabatini.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Chair, for making this discussion purposes only today. So I know Andy and I had spoken earlier about this, and just in context to Commissioner Goiky's question in regards to what the cost is per item, they actually provided us some invoices, so you can take a look at that and see what the true cost is, based on if it's an emergency or it's actually just being picked up. But one of the things, I mean, this is never an easy topic when we talk about roads, you know, whose responsibility is it? We always get, you know, everyone's pointing at each other. I mean, we had to address this issue earlier last year because we had a problem and we developed this pilot program, which Andy's talked about. I think the pilot program has worked well, but I think we've been learning through the pilot program what we can do better. So is it perfect? No, but I think that's what we're talking about today and getting your feedback as to, you know, what we can do or should do, and then the executive will make those decisions as to how we go out to bid. But my personal opinion is I think we should keep it to large animals. I think when we start getting out of that context, it's going to get a little gray, and I think that'll be a little bit easier on the bid side personally too. But I think also going forward, I think this is a roads issue, and, you know, if the roads is going to take it over, which I agree with, I would support that as well through the, you know, next budget cycle. So I just wanted to put that in. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Zinner?
My question is, when they pick them up, of course, they're dead, where do they take them?
That's a great question, Commissioner.
Yeah.
So we entered into an agreement with WM to dispose of what they call organic material at their site on Pine Tree Acres. So all of this kind of connects. So we do take truckloads up to Pine Tree Acres and dump them and provide them to Pine Tree Acres.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Chair.
I agree.
Chair.
Commissioner Romano?
Thank you, Chair. Two quick questions. I see Brian Santos still here. I'm going to put it on your Brian. Can you get back to us with 2025 and let me know how much roadkill the Department of Roads has picked up? If you can get I'm sure there's a count of that when the guys call it in. When you get back to us, I don't need it now. I'm sure you don't have it now. And the second question is, if we bought that truck for animal control, why did we give it to the road commission? And why did animal control ask for it in the first place if they're not going to pick up the animals? Oh, I'm sorry. Last question. They don't pick up skunks, and I wanted to know why. That's the third question.
If we go with small animals, Commissioner, we will pick up skunks. If
You
we
do
go-
not.
We will. And we would during this pilot program, we would have picked up a skunk. Do you know when the skunk was there? And
Private company came out $60 worth, but that's neither there. I would like to know how many animals that the Department of Roads has picked up. And again, the second question is, what are they doing with animal control's truck?
yeah, so again, that's repurposed to the Department of Roads so that they can utilize that to pick up the animals when they have to. When it's either it's an emergent situation or if that happens to be in the right of way, that will be repurposed to the Department of Roads.
But animal control got that truck for animal control. What is it going, why is it, we approved that for animal control. We didn't approve that for Department of Roads.
And animal control doesn't have the capacity to be doing that with the number of staff that they have budgeted at this time.
Okay, this is taking longer than the budget, I think. Anyway, thank you. Thank you. That's all I got.
Commissioner Van Sickle?
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon. If you go with a contractor, is it your thought that the contractor would do their own vehicles, or would they be using the fabled truck?
They would be using their own vehicles, Commissioner.
Okay. And so then, if I'm understanding you right, the Department of Roads still picks up some animals that are in the right of way?
They have had to in the past, yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you.
Quick,
Okay,
ask for the
Commissioners?
vote.
We have a motion
Make
to
it
receive and
fast.
file this report. Please vote.
Jeez.
Motion passes 12-0.
Thank you, Commissioners, very much.
Item 7 is a Macomb Work Zone lane closure and construction update. This is to receive and file.
Support.
Motion by
Commissioner Lucido?
Lucido, Romano. Please vote.
Motion passes 12-0.
You ready to give up, Mr. Burnett?
Go ahead, sir. Yes.
Okay. This is the Recorded Public Safety Committee Department recommendations. A and B has been postponed, so no sense talking about them. Item C is a contract with Macomb County Bar Association, continuing legal education training agreement for 2025-2026 season for $185,000. We have Mr. Fears Cole here for, excuse me,
No problem.
representing Public Defender, please.
Good afternoon, Commissioners.
I'm sorry, I need a motion to recommend this full board.
So moved.
I've got a motion by Commissioner Howard, supported by Commissioner Lucido. Please.
Thank you, Commissioners. I'm Erin Furs Cole. I'm with the Public Defender's Office. This is a contract for continuing legal education for both staff attorneys and roster attorneys. This is a fully grant-funded contract. Part of what we do is we make sure that all attorneys do continuing legal education. They are required to do that in order to accept indigent cases. And this contract is fully grant-funded by the state. And I'm happy to answer any questions that you have.
I think they're all questioned out with the last one. I see no speakers. Please vote.
Motion passes 12-0.
Thank you. Thanks for coming. Item D is a budget amendment with Michigan Department of Corrections, Office of Community Corrections, fiscal year 2026 grant. Ooh, I like grants. For $131,150. We have Ms. Caskey here, Director of Community Corrections. I need a motion to recommend this full board.
So move.
Support.
Got a motion by Commissioner Hawes, supported by Commissioner Lucido, and I have Ms. Caskey up here to speak. Please.
Good afternoon, thank you. We are here to request a budget adjustment for the reduced amount that we received from the Michigan Department of Corrections. I believe that we went over this when we had our budget meeting, but we didn't have exact numbers, so we're back to get this officially in place. If you recall from that, we originally applied for $2.3 million for our 2026 MDOC grant. We were then notified that no increases would be given to anyone. So we were able to revise that before that information came in front of you all for our budget, down to $1,953,000. And what came in after that was that they were again reducing all of the amounts that all of the counties received by an additional 5%, which puts us at $1,822,250, a reduction of $131,150.
I guess we should consider lucky we got the grant, huh?
Yes, we're lucky for the funds we received, and we've also been in continuing conversations with them to let them know that the services that we're expected to continue to provide will cost more than what we have been provided with the grant, and have been reassured that at mid-year, they will go back to all of the counties across the state to see if there are unspent funds or trending unspent funds, to consider funding both electronic monitoring and some cognitive behavioral programming that we're providing in the community. So we may be looking at an increase then. We'll keep
Great.
our fingers crossed.
Fantastic. I have Commissioner here. Commissioner Howard, you have a question?
Not just a question, more so a statement. I sit on the board with Ms. Barb on community corrections, and I just love that it's not just talking specifically about corrections, but it's really about how do we restore people into the community. And a lot of our focus and time has been on that thing, not just about corrections in the correction department, but how do we actually restore community members. And it's disappointing to see that this grant is cut short. I know that has absolutely nothing to do with you. That's a state level issue. But I just want to thank you for your service and your detailed intention on how do we actually restore community members. And I hope that we do get an increase. Otherwise, I think it would be a detriment to our community and our county.
Thank you for those comments, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Howard. I see no other speakers, so please vote.
Motion passes 12-0.
Thanks, Ms. Caskey. Okay, item 8 is a purchase. TXG, Third Excusion Group Technical Operations Training in the amount of $73,500. I have Captain Rutan here to speak on it. I need a motion, recommend this to full
Motion,
board.
Zinner.
Support Wallace.
I have a motion by Commissioner Zinner and supported by Commissioner Wallace, and I have the captain up at the speaker.
Good
Cap,
afternoon,
please.
Commissioners. I'm in front of you today requesting the purchase of specialized technical operations training for our road patrol deputies through the Third Excursion Group in the amount of $73,500. This is zero cost to the county. Third Excursion Group is a sole source vendor that offers this type of training. The funds that will be used to purchase this training are MCOLs or state funds that are provided to the department annually that must be used for continuing professional education. This training alone will provide 16 hours to our sworn deputies out of the mandated 24 annual CPE hours that the state requires. Again, no funds will be taken out of the general fund for this. I have Lieutenant Conklin here, and I can answer any questions about this training.
Who's paying for it?
The state of Michigan provides this funding that we have to use for this training, this type of training.
Thank you. I see no speakers. Please vote.
Thank you.
Motion passes 12-0.
Thanks, Cap.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to take item F and G together. First item F is a purchase of Safeware Incorporated night vision equipment for the sheriff's SWAT team for $68,200. And item G is a purchase of On Duty Gear LLC body armor for the sheriff's office SWAT team in the amount of $108,490. I have Brandon Lewis, who's Director of Emergency Management and Communications. I need a motion to recommend 9F and 9G to full board, please.
So moved.
Support.
I've got Commissioner Hall making the motion and Commissioner Van Sickle supporting.
Good
Brandon,
afternoon,
please.
Commissioners. I'm here seeking approval of 2 grant-funded purchases today, both for the Sheriff's Office SWAT team. One is for night vision equipment. The other is for body armor for the officers on the SWAT team. Both purchases funding is available in the Homeland Security Grant Fund from the FY 2023 Homeland Security Grant. Those are the particulars of the purchase. I also brought Lieutenant Conklin with me if you have any questions about the equipment. But those are the particulars of the purchase, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. So both of these are grant funded.
Both of them are grant funded.
They're letting you off easy today. I see no questions. Please vote.
Motion passes 12-0.
Thanks, Brandon. Okay, item H is a resolution 2026-14977. It's a resolution deeming prosecutor attorney positions necessary and fixing salaries for the removal of 1 chief appellate lawyer in addition of 1 chief of staff attorney and correcting the inclusion of 1 victim witness coordinator appointed by the prosecuting attorney under Public Act 329 as amended. And I have Mr. Biana. Mr. Biana, what is your official title?
Chief of Special Prosecutions.
Thank you. I need a motion to recommend this to full board, please.
Support.
I have a motion by Commissioner Lucido, supported by Commissioner Van Sickle. Mr. Biondo, please.
Thank you, Commissioners, for the opportunity to present on this issue. I think the title summarizes what we're asking, and I just wanted to touch on why. This is a budget-neutral request, and in exchange for removing the chief appellate lawyer position, we're asking to add the chief of staff attorney position. Now, our chief appellate lawyer, great employee, Josh Abbott, 22 years with the county. His last day will be with us actually tomorrow. About a month ago, he informed us of his intention to retire from the county after working here and doing a great job, and we wish him well with that. And so when we were looking at this, it presented an opportunity. Could we improve the operations of the office by potentially changing the position? After reviewing with the staff, the determination was yes, and we're asking the board to go along with our recommendation to do that. Relatedly, there's a correction that needs to be made to the necessary and proper resolution. Now, when the board approved it during the budget process, the total of the full-time employees on that document was correct, and the amounts in terms of what was needed to spend for those full-time employees were correct. There was just a clerical error where one of the rows was removed, and so that's why we're asking for that correction to be made with respect to the victim witness coordinator. Happy to answer any questions regarding the details of any of that. That's the sum and substance of what we're asking the board to approve today.
So we have some commissioners with questions, so let's go with them first. Commissioner Kraft, please.
Happy to defer to you, Mr. Chair, if you want to go first.
No, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Hi, Joe.
Yes, sir.
Quick question for you. Is the chief of staff also a practicing attorney as the appellate lawyer?
Yes, it'll be a requirement to be a licensed attorney. This is something that Prosecutor Lucido consulted with HR Director Carlin, and that'll be a requirement of the position.
So would this new person take on the same type of caseload as the outgoing employee?
No, the reason why we're asking for this position change is because the idea would be to convert this position into another role in the office within the administration. And so this would be a high-level chief position that would supervise a number of employees. Currently, the chief appellate lawyer only supervises the people in their unit, and it's only 2 or 3 people in that unit.
Okay. Do you foresee any casework concerns with our current employee leaving and their caseload being passed on to our current employees, or how do you foresee that all working out?
I appreciate the question. The answer is no, and the reason why is actually we just went through the interview process. Mr. Abbott intends to come back as a part-time employee. He loves working in the prosecutor's office. He's a tremendous resource, and we wanted to, keep him if we could. And so I believe the job offer has already been made. We went through the interview. So we'll still have Mr. Josh Abbott in the office, but as a part-time attorney, he'll be assigned to the appropriate unit, and there should be no issue with the workload with this change.
Understood. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Chair, you withdrew?
I did.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I withdrew.
You withdrew. I see no other speakers. I have a motion and support. Please vote.
Motion passes 11-0.
Thank you. I'm glad you're still left standing there.
Of course.
Have item I, which is a resolution 2026-14962, a resolution to approve legal services for the prosecuting attorney. And we have Mr. Biondo again, Chief of Special Prosecutions. I need a motion to recommend this full board.
So move. Support.
I have a motion by Commissioner Wallace, supported by Commissioner Lucido. Mr. Biondo, you're up again.
Thank you again, Commissioners, to have the opportunity to present on this item as well. This is a straightforward item similar to the one the board approved last month. We're simply adding 2 more to the roster. We have all the appropriate paperwork, the signed contracts, the signed disclosure form, the W-9. I included their resumes. These are impressive individuals. And again, the idea is simply that out of all of them that the board has approved for us or will approve for us, if some are not able to be available or have a conflict, we would be able to have at least 1 or 2 that we could use. And so with that said, I'd be happy to answer any additional questions on this item.
I just have a quick question. You mentioned that you have a list of attorneys that you could provide if you needed them. Is that correct?
The list here, sir.
Do you have more than this list here that could be provided?
Just what the board approved last month, and this is what we intend to be the final roster.
Thank you. I have a motion and support. Please vote.
Motion passes 11-0.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Biondo. Excuse me. Item, excuse me, item, somebody grab that frog. It's public participation. This is 3 minutes maximum per speaker. The opportunity for public participation is for those who wish to speak for maximum 3 minutes on any issue. Is there anyone in the public who wishes to speak? I don't see anybody. JP, I don't know if you're in good company with the gentleman next to you. I see nobody in public participation. I'm going to close that portion of the meeting, and I'm going to ask for commissioners' comments. Nope, I didn't look. Sorry. Okay, let's try this again. Commissioner Wallace.
Thank you so much. I just wanted to say happy Valentine's Day to everyone, and there are some sweet treats in the back for you guys from Clementine's local bakery. If you like anything, make sure you order from them.
Thank you. Okay, I see no other speakers. I guess item 12 is closed session to discuss confidential attorney-client privilege memorandum. I need a motion to enter into closed session, discuss confidential attorney-client privilege memorandum.
Support.
Who made the motion? Van Sickle, and who supported? Thank you, Mr. Hart. We have a motion and support. Please vote.
Motion passes 11-0.
Thank you. Open session. Item 13 is a Public Service Committee Department recommendation, if I may, Mr. Perna. Thank you. It's a resolution 2026-15007. It's a resolution accepting partial dedication of Town Center Boulevard in Chesterfield Township. I need a motion to recommend this to full board.
So moved.
I got a motion by Commissioner Van Sickle, supported by Commissioner Perna. Any questions, any comments? And if there is none, please vote.
Motion passes 10-0.
Thank you. Thanks, gentlemen. Item 14.
Motion to adjourn.
I have a motion by Commissioner, no, you didn't do it to him last time. Commissioner Howard, and supported by Commissioner Kraft. Please vote.
Zitter, yes.
Motion passes 10-0.